I am so excited. Today we have Prakash Raina, founder CEO of Subscribe, one of our favorite and most recommended CPQ and overall revenue orchestration systems. Prakash, thank you so much for being here. Your platform and product is absolutely phenomenal, and I'm really, really excited to get this in front of our customers, our audience, a deeper dive look for the rest of our team. And just thank you so much for taking the time to do this with us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Anthony. And I always feel great about talking to someone from LeanScale. I have been working with some of your team members, and it's always great to chat with some of you guys.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Well, the partnership has been definitely mutually enjoyable. Um, and, you know, at LeanScale, we don't recommend anything unless we just think it's the best. And you guys have done an outstanding job with a lot of our customers, and you are also innovating so much. I know you have a lot of really exciting AI features to kick off here at the beginning, too. So happy to dive into that. But before, something we always do, especially when we have the founder on, we'd love to hear the founding story, like what gave you the inspiration. There were lots of different platforms on the market. So what gave you that passion to say, hey, this needs to be built, it needs to be built today, and I'm ready to devote my entire career into doing this?
Absolutely. Always feel great about this because before starting Subscribe, I was with Okta, a very well-known cybersecurity
Mm-hmm.
company in identity management, and I was leading the business technology there. I joined Okta well before they were a public company. When the leadership at Okta started thinking about going public, code to cash is one of the critical application that they had to optimize for, or making sure that okay, it is compliant with running as a public company. And that's where I joined. And since Okta was growing really crazy back in 2016, 2017, or between 2016, 2020, my time at there, we were always struggling with what business was looking for, multiple M&A, expansion geographically, revenue growing like it grew from less than 100 million to $1 billion in less than 5 years. It was crazy growth.
That's insane.
And we tried to purchase or try every product in the market on the CPQ, on the billing side that was available at that time, and none of them were solving what Okta was looking for. And we struggled a lot. We were investing a lot of dollar wise, headcount wise. There was still a lot of manual broken process. And that's where me and a couple of my friends, two of the other founder at Subscribe, they were at Zora. So we all
Hmm.
had a different perspective on the same thing, or very much our own experience in the code to cash side or code to revenue side of the thing. I was the one who was buying it, implementing it, managing it within the company. Two of the other founders, they were at Zora, one on the engineering side, one on the product side. So a lot of experience on that, and we were all seeing the same pain point that companies were struggling. And that is where we thought that somebody needs to solve this problem differently. And that's where we started Subscribe back in 2020. So 5 exciting years that we have been in this journey.
Well, congratulations. And I can speak from sincere, painful, unbelievably painful experiences that the quote to cash process, which typically will involve CPQ, billing, revenue recognition, that entire process is so difficult and so complicated. And it's a really, really tough problem to solve. So I'm really happy that some amazing minds came together to make that better for people like me, our team, and our customers. And excited for you to show off what you have for us today.
Absolutely. One of the things which my perspective is, if you are in a SaaS business and you are a public company, everybody has to follow some guideline that SEC has. There is
Mm-hmm.
nothing unique about what Okta is doing versus what Salesforce is doing or Zoom is doing or Slack was doing. They all have to meet the same compliance. Then why the code to cash has to be so broken or so different across all of these companies? And that is where I think one of the things which we are trying to achieve or trying to educate the industry is there has to be some standardization. If you feel that okay, you are very unique in the process, that's probably not something to be proud of. The
Yeah, that's not
more
a
standard
competitive
you are,
advantage. You're not winning because you have a unique quote to cash process.
Yes, exactly. Um, Wonderful. So let's jump right to that. I'm really excited to show the product that what we have built, and maybe let me share my screen, and I will jump right to a little bit of what we are doing from a product perspective, and then jump to the product, just show you what we have built. Hope you can see my screen.
Perfect.
So just to give you at a very high level that, okay, how we are different from other, as you mentioned, there are many platforms who are in this domain, code to cash, code to revenue, or the subscription billing, subscription management, CPQ side. So the traditionally, if you go and look at many companies, they purchase between CRM and their ERP or the GL system. They have multiple systems. Maybe a CPQ, which is being used by all the sales or the go-to-market team. Then there is a billing system, which is mainly for the finance, for their AR, invoicing, payment, all of those function. And then the third side is a revenue recognition system, where mainly the revenue accounting team is managing based on whatever has been done on the quoting side and the billing side, and then the revenue recognition based on the offering and other control measurement that they have. And from there, it does get integrated to the ERP. If you look at this, there are multiple systems. There is a lot of custom integration. There is a lot of data reconciliation needs to happen, and that's why if you talk to many public company, they will say that, okay, it takes 10 days, 15 days, long nights after every quarter end to close the book, because they have to make sure that, okay, all these three system data are reconciled. There is no issue with respect to any numbers, be it the booking number, what's my revenue number, what's my billing number. All the contract has been synced between these systems, and that's very inefficient in this AI world, or the world that we are staying or living, where people have to do these manual checks, Excel sheets, CSV, VLOOKUP, and
That's
all
right.
of those things to make sure that, okay, the data is correct between these. This is where we said, like, Subscribe, can we change it? Can we, rather than building as a multiple platform, doing a piece of the problem or doing the piece of the process, can there be a unified platform? And that is what Subscribe QTR, code to revenue platform. It's a one unified system which has very advanced capability of CPQ. It has all the function that the billing system, AR payment system needs, as well as it match the or meets the ASC 606 needs to do the revenue recognition. And from here, it sits between the CRM and the GL system, but you do not have to reconcile the data. You do not have to define the product catalog in multiple systems. You don't have to build any custom integration or so. So that's the major difference, I would say, between other CPQ or the billing system or revenue system, which are standalone, versus Subscribe as a unified platform. At the same time, we do sell just the CPQ also.
I just want to add too, you guys perform extremely well in both sales led growth motions as well as product led growth motions. And we tend to find there's some tailored solutions that serve each of those potentially, but most SaaS companies have a hybrid model. They're doing some product led growth, they're doing some sales led growth, especially if they're trying to move up market and go enterprise. And to be able to manage this with one solution, super beneficial for those teams that have those hybrid motions, where otherwise you would be bringing on different tools just to meet different motion types as well.
Absolutely. And this is a journey for almost every company. When you start a company, you want to focus on a one market, one particular product segment or specific segment or ICP wise. But to grow or to become a billion dollar or multi-billion dollar company, you have to grow into the different areas. Could be going from a sales led to the PLG, could be going through a contracted or subscription billing to the usage based, could be going from focused into one geography to the other geography also, where the multi-entity, multi-currency, all those things come. Subscribe is one only code to revenue platform which can be used for, as you said, sales led or the PLG. We do support everything on the SaaS pricing or one time professional service or consumption based. We also have one unified platform where you can run multiple entity. If you are acquiring a company, say that, okay, you, as a part of your growth, you do acquire a lot of company, you can run the code to cash process for all of those different entity on one unified platform.
So amazing, so flexible too.
As Anthony, you mentioned that, okay, there are a lot of focus on our side is on the AI, like everyone else in the market. One of the things which we did is, and I'll make a statement which a lot of people will like it or not, irrespective of how beautiful or how easy you build a CPQ, no salesperson wants to use a CPQ. They don't want to, and that's why
Sure.
the concept of deal desk came into the company, because deal desk is a team of people where me as a seller, I just want to talk to my deal desk guy and say that, okay, hey, my prospect is asking for a 3-year contract with user count growing 10% year over year, with a professional service, premier support, 20% discount. Can you build a code for me? That is how all they, because their job is, I don't want to spend time on these system or creating this proposal and all. I do want to go talk to prospect, talk to customer, and sell more to them. That's my job. So what we did is, our CPQ, and which I'm going to bring it, is super easy to use it. If you look at the G2 and all, we are always rated as the easiest to use CPQ. But we took it at even a next level, that a rep can just come to a Slack and say that, okay, deal desk, and just type some statement. I have just copied it, like, hey, can you create a SMB code with 25 user on basic platform only for Acme Inc. They just type that. There is an AI agent sitting in the back, and what it is going to do is it is going to parse the information, and it's going to look at this, that, okay, hey, you gave me information. Do I have everything that I can give you a proposal or a code?
Nice.
I do. You gave me all the information, but hey, you did not tell me what kind of support level they need. Can you tell me that, okay, what support? Because the AI knows, based on your business policy, your company policy, you have a policy that every customer needs to buy a support level also, which me as a seller, I have not, which is exactly a deal desk guy will ask you that, okay, hey, did you ask the prospect that, okay, which level of support they need? They can say that, okay, hey, they have said that, okay, they are not going to look for any support. I'm not looking for any support. Once the agent gets all the information that it is looking, it needs to create a code. As soon as it does, it is going to just say, okay, here is the code for you. As soon as the agent gets all the information that it can create a proposal for me, it creates a code. It even brings the PDF right here, that based on the information that you said, and it has a very intelligent logic. You said, like, I'm looking for 25 user, and you said, like, I'm looking for basic platform. The basic platform only comes with 15 user. That means you need to get extra user. You have to buy add-on for the extra 10. System added that extra 10 and created a code for you. It added some of the terms and conditions which are common or a standard practice for your business. So the main goal here is, can a rep, Slack is a very widely used channel. We are going to extend it to some other interface also. The vision is, why even come to the Slack? Can I just do through a mobile app? Can I do it or pass the same command or interact with the same agent from my CRM? It could be any interface. It could be email. I send an email and then I get a code back from the system. And it has all the logic that CPQ has. As you said, like, it asked me what support you need. It applied the logic of that, okay, hey, you need 10 additional add user as an add-on to meet your need of 25 user. It added my standard MSA privacy policy or terms of service by default. You can achieve everything that you, when you talk to a deal desk, and the deal desk help you to create a code for that. We are very excited about this feature. A lot of our customers are just loving it.
This is absolutely insane. And I don't know if someone hasn't built the back end of this and has gone through this process, I don't know if they'll appreciate the level of complexity, especially when you're saying, hey, there's different product rules here. So, you ask for something, that requires us to take a look at the different types of products and packages you have to put it together. This would normally take, even if you have it set up really, really well, I'd say this would be like a 20-minute activity to go in, add all the things, click all the buttons, create the form, and you turn this into an instant quote, especially for teams that are doing high velocity deals. Like, that adds up. And to make sure that they're following all the policies and everything that you have, it's a huge, huge feature. Something I know reps would be super excited about, and I'm sure deal desk teams as well.
Absolutely. And in fact, our vision is to take it to from a looking at a different lens. Today, when a new seller join a company, they have to go through at least few weeks or maybe a couple of months of training to understand how exactly the CPQ is configured, what all different product you can sell together and all. The goal here is, if I'm a new rep and I don't know about all the information, I can just ask about, hey, can you help me to create a code? And then agent is gonna guide me that, okay, yes, to get that, you need to tell me what level of customer it is, what kind of support you need, how many user. And in fact, if I go now to the subscribe tab, which is here, this is behind the scene. This is the traditional guided selling, which is also very, very useful.
Right.
Like, it's saying that where is the customer located in? I say it's in US. Based on different response, it can ask me different more question. And me as a seller, I'm interacting with the CPQ in a very business focused question, not really how the system is configured. It is just asking that, okay, which region US you are located in. I'm answering these questions, and based on whatever I answer, system is gonna take this and these answer, convert into the right product, right level of compliance, discounting, all of those things, and it is gonna create a code for me. Versus in traditional CPQ, you go to a code, you pick the start date, end date, you pick the which product you need, which you pick the timeline, discount and all. Versus here, you are just interacting as a Q&A, and it is gonna, system is gonna take your response and pick the right product based on that. That's the traditional guided selling. The Slack that we saw, the deal desk AI, is running on top of that. So exactly to your point, Anthony, it looks very easy from the Slack that, okay, I'm just typing and I'm getting a response, but behind the scene, there is a lot of complex rule or the complex implementation that our engineering team has built that is powering that.
Yeah, the decision tree of this guided selling is, it could be almost infinite how many like branches it can go depending on how many products and combinations. So helping somebody navigate through all of those and get them something really quickly, it's absolutely a game changer. And like you mentioned, this is already really powerful. To have this set up for a rep to go through, it's already much easier than what they're typically doing, like directly in Salesforce or HubSpot, or goodness, just living in like Sheets or Google Docs, to get something in a system. Make sure you're following your pricing rules and approval flows that you have in place. Super important to have them go into a system to do this.
Yep. Almost a lot of big companies that we talk to, they all have a pricing calculator, few Excel sheet that you have to go through that. And the main difference is the pricing calculator is based on the business conversation. CPQ is very systematic or the technical side. This guided selling is actually combining that. You do not have to understand that, oh, this means the zero trust pro package. You're just selling that I'm selling to a mid-market company. That means they should buy pro package.
Right.
System has all those logics.
Right.
So now we are here in the subscribe world. Maybe let's go a little bit deeper on the subscribe platform wise. You can see we support various different aspect of the CPQ code to cash or code to revenue side. We have support for the multi currencies. You can define currency exchange rate and all of these. We have a lot of customer using our product internationally in all the different regions. We integrate with various tax engines, Salesforce, CRM, eSign, as well as the payment gateway wise. Subscribe is 100% API based, and that is where we support the PLG, because some of our bigger customer, they just want everything to be available on API so that they can consume and they can build their own interface however they want to do it. Could be free trial from their website, could be upsell from their product, could be marketplace, could be selling it some other third-party website. All of those are possible using our API in that case. Dunning management, document template, a lot of bulk operation, usage billing, as I mentioned. We do have support for consumption-based billing. You can inject the usage as and when it is being consumed, or you can upload a file also at the end of the month if you want to do that.
So I want to pause there. I want to pause there because usage-based billing, I think some people might not appreciate the nuance, because maybe they're using something like Stripe, or maybe they're using something else that's manual. The difficult part of usage-based billing is managing all of the metering and the complexity of the different metering rules you may have. Like, are there stair steps? Do you have accelerators if they go above and charge even more? Do you have decelerators if they go above? Like, all of that logic and all of those rules is near impossible to manage in a spreadsheet. And other platforms and other tools simply do not give you the ability to do that. So we have a lot of companies that have usage-based products. They need to be billing on a monthly basis, especially in the era of AI. Usage-based consumption, usage-based billing is the leading way to charge for these type of solutions. So I only see this growing in the future. And if you don't have something like Subscribe in place to manage it, it becomes completely unruly.
Absolutely. And I know when we call it as a usage-based or consumption-based billing, but there is a lot of different flavor, as you mentioned. There could be one pure pay-as-you-go model. You do not have to commit it. How much you use, I'm going to send an invoice based on that. In enterprise world, nobody wants to get that, because then you are budgeting and all those things gets complex. So there is a model for pre-committed. So I'm committing for, hey, 200,000 API every month. That's my commitment. I'm definitely gonna, if I use less than that, you're still gonna charge me for 200,000 API call. But if I go over that, then you're gonna charge me for overage. So prepaid plus overage. Or look at the AWS pricing or GCP pricing, where you are buying a credit pool. I'm buying a $100,000 credit pool. I have access to tens of your application. I can pick and choose whichever I need at any point of time, and you go and draw down from that bucket. All of those pricing model is well supported by Subscribe. We have customer using all of these flavors. This is our usage command center. We have a very advanced analytics, and we have few command center. This is usage command center, where you can see a lot of these things, how exactly usage is going over month by month max, because there could be high watermark price that, okay, based on how many active user at any point of time, that is what your high watermark. All of those different pricing model are well supported and available through the analytics also. I will show another, since we are on this. With the code to revenue, we feel that analytics is a very, very important part. As I showed you, the usage command center, we have something called deal desk command center, where if I'm the RevOps leader or sales leader, I can come here at the end of the quarter or end of the month and just try to see that, okay, how we are performing with my quarterly target. How many deals are active? How many renewals are going on? What is my average deal cycle? Okay, what are the top 15 deal from a dollar perspective that I have to chase to meet my quota or meet my target for this quarter? Where exactly these 15 deals are? Are they approved? Are they sitting for the CFO to approve? Have they gone out and waiting for the signature? All of those things at one place that you can slice and dice, and then you can see the data. This analytics engine is powered by Looker, but we have a strong relationship with the Google Cloud, and Looker is powering, and we have built a ton of reports based on these analytics. You can also see the AR command center now on the billing side. So deal desk is more on the CPQ or the go-to-market. Usage is, of course, on the billing, on the product and all. The AR is more on the finance or the AR side. how exactly my aging look like. Not just the aging which our invoice has gone out, what are my forecasts for the invoice? How many invoices are overdue? What's my cash flow look like? What is my DSO? A lot of these critical, I would say, the metrics are very, very important if you are either going to the street or talking to your board or talking to your investor. A lot of our customer CFOs or the sales leader, they just take the screenshot of these details and just go to their management meeting to talk about that, okay, how they are doing, and I'll bring some more analytics.
Yeah, and that's amazing intelligence that you can only get access to if you're owning everything end to end. So if you only have some of the data in silos, normally what we would do is we would, okay, let's take the data from these systems, let's throw them into Looker, so that way we can visualize everything in one place. I love, by the way, that you partnered with Looker to get the type of visualizations that you have. They're best in class.
Yep.
Or you're going into your ERP, or you're going into whatever your financial system is. Like in our case, we're going to be logging into QuickBooks to look at that type of data. But you're bouncing around so many systems. But since you own, and you're going to be asking these questions as you go through this natural storyline. What's pipeline look like? What does sales look like? Revenue, collections. And so to have all of that data in one place, super powerful.
Absolutely. And as I said, like earlier, which I mentioned that, okay, one of the thing which we are trying to drive or achieve here is how can we define some standardization across the industry. So this is our ARR momentum report. We say that, hey, what was the ARR when we started the month and where we ended the month? But within that 30 days or 31 day of the month, what all different type of deal we did? New logo, upsell, renewal markup, or renewal add-on? Did they just pay more during renewal because I raised the price by 10%? Or no, they actually purchase more product during the renewal, more adoption, more growth with that customer. All of these categories are available, very standard definition, which should be applicable to any customer or every customer in the SaaS business. Those things are just available out of the box for you to just get a glimpse of that, okay, how exactly the business is doing.
How do you handle ARR reporting for usage-based companies? Do you have the ability to like share usage and kind of count that into your ARR, or distinguish like your ARR is 10 million, but 2 million of it's actually like uncommitted?
Exactly. So going back to how you price your usage based, if it is pure pay as you go model, then the CFO says that, okay, let's look at the average consumption for the last 3 months or last quarter.
Yep.
And that is what we'll take 80% as my committed ARR. So that's, there are some certain things, and that's where, as you said, Looker has all those things. I bring all the usage dollar that, okay, the customer is having month over month. You define your policy. Is it a 80%? Is it 100%? Or however you want to do it. But if you have committed plus overage model, that means somebody is already committing for 50,000 a year, that your fixed ARR is 50,000. Now, if the usage overage variation is a lot more, they are committing for 50,000, but they are consuming 3 times of that, then again, based on the overage, you can define your policies. So that's one area where the standardization is still missing, and every company has their own way. Hey, I consume, and this is a lot more that you have to convince your auditor.
Right.
That, okay, if your auditor agrees that yes, my overage is very straight line for the last 6 months, why can't I recognize 95% of that as a committed ARR? Versus if you have a lot more fluctuation, then your auditor will not gonna agree for the 95%. They will say like, no, just pick maybe 20% of that as your committed ARR.
I found with investors, and if you're like going and raising or something, and you're articulating what your ARR is, as long as you have a definition for it, it's backed by data, and they can understand it, makes sense. And we work on this all the time. So we work on this if somebody's trying to come up with like, okay, we have 10 million in committed. We know if we look at the average of the last 3 months or 6 months, whatever makes sense for them, and we'll take 80% of that, like you said. And then that brings, we're going to say our ARR is 12 million and we have this much here. But knowing that you have the flexibility in the reporting here, is great.
Absolutely. And in fact, this is a question, or this is maybe a variation, even non-usage based. So if I come back here from, let's say this is a quote, which is a 2-year quote, and the first year is 12,500 because it's a ramping deal. They
Mm,
started with 125 user in the first year, they grew to 155 and 175. It's a 3-year ramp deal. That means my ARR for the first year versus second year versus third year will be different. Now, there are few aspects, as you mentioned, there are aspects that, okay, when you go and talk to your investor, that, okay, how much is your ARR? You always want to talk about the bigger number. You say that, hey, my committed is 16 grand.
yep.
But when you're comping your rep, are you comping based on the first year, which is a lower number, the renewal, which is a higher number, or an average?
Yeah.
All of these numbers are just available out of the box in the subscribe system.
Really smart.
So this is a quote object. We have all the advanced approval. We have a smart approval also. If it has already been approved, it isn't gonna look for another approval unless until there is a material change. You can submit for approval. It is gonna trigger approval. I'm admin, so it is asking me to bypass. And I'll just to show another one on the Slack side. The approval is very much available in Slack. So if I bring my Slack here, you can see I receive a message on the Slack saying that, okay, here is the snapshot of the code. And it is looking for an approval because there is a net 60 is given. Do you want to approve or reject? And me as a approver, I can, if I'm a CFO, I'm a CRO, I'm on the road, I want to open the system, check my email and all, Slack is very easy. I can just approve or decline directly from the Slack. Once it is available, of course, we have a full templating, downloading the order form, we have e-signature, you can send it for the signature and all. And once everything is done, let's say if I approve on behalf of someone, the final step, as any other deal cycle, is to mark as executed, where this quote now is getting closed and it is being moved to a quote to a subscription object. And if I go back to the subscription, just to show it, the subscription is very similar information that, okay, what is my entry ARR, what is my exit ARR, and all of those, which is very simple when you talk about traditional CPQ and all. Where we stand tall against all other is what you do post the customer has already signed. They are already a customer. They
That's the
come
most
for a
complex
renewal.
part. That's the part that everything seems to go off the rails. Like you sell your first deal, then all of a sudden they want a co-term, renew early. That's the part where it gets really messy.
Absolutely. And this is where, as I was saying, that, okay, once you start become multi-product company, once you start growing, you are signing a multi-year deal, there is multiple amendment that you have to do. You are always trying to upsell is a big go-to-market motion for many big companies.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I know you started with one product, but I do land and expand. I want to sell another product. And that's where the amendment comes very handy on that. So these are still, I would say, traditional or more common or standard or probably easy. But if you look at the last two, no other CPQ does that, how Subscribe supports it. There is a contract going on, 3 months left in the contract. Customers say that, okay, I love the product, I want to buy more licenses, and I'm ready to renew also. Now, there could be two flavor of that. One is like a car leasing. I'm dropping my today current lease, and my new lease will start from today for the next 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
That's restructure because I have to give you credit for unused period.
Yep.
That's cancel and restructure. There is no count on the churn. I can tell you that, okay, how much time the companies spend on that. I was talking to one of a company making like close to $1 billion. They say that, okay, they don't like cancel restructure even if it brings more ARR, because that needs 2 days between the sales, order management, deal desk, and the finance team to come up with, okay, what should be the right number for this deal. Because they have to look at the invoices, the credit, the amendment, the proration, coming up with the one order form. It is so hectic that people are just leaving the dollar on the table.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't it crazy that people are not doing a deal that's good for the customer, good for the company, just because it's too operationally difficult to make it happen?
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is like if you go and tell this to the company CEO, they will be absolutely shocked that, okay, this is what is happening within their company. But if you talk to the operation team, they are saying that I understand if this is going to bring 100,000 more. But if you look at the unit of economics, to make that 100,000 more, the 5 people have to spend 2 days to make that happen.
Right.
So from that perspective, but they are losing the revenue from that side. That is where the Subscribe has super easy. The rep should be absolutely capable of go and make those changes. One opportunity in the CRM, one order form, it will calculate all the right numbers with respect to how much I have to give the credit, how much I have to charge you the new contract, and your reporting will also look absolutely clean that, okay, how much is the upsell? It's not like there is a cancel restructure, that means it is a churn. No churn, it's all going as a upsell on an existing customer. All of these deals can be done just by the rep. One of the motive for us is CPQ is not a deal desk tool or revenue operation tool. CPQ is for sellers. They should be the primary consumer. I'm sure you must have heard, Anthony, but a lot of time CPQ is only being used by the deal desk team because it is so complex to use it that seller comes to them and they go and configure the code because it is just so hard to somebody to find out, okay, how to use this system. So a lot of these complex, not just easy 1 year, 2 year, 3 year deal. It's a 3 year ramping deal with a different discount with the partner involved. There is a 10% partner margin or the reseller margin. There is a net 19, a special clause. All of those can be done by the rep by themselves, and not just the new deal. Throughout the life of that customer, whatever they are doing, adding more product, swapping the product, doing cancel structure, doing early renewal, all of those can be done just by the seller without anybody's help. You can see here it says that, okay, hey, there is a cancellation part and there is a structure part, and it is combined into one order, one metrics. It says that, okay, what's my delta ARR? The way that I build it, my ARR is not growing, but it is changing. There's a TCV is still some dollar.
Mm-hmm.
If I go and try to sell more, you can see that, okay, the ARR is going up while I'm doing a cancel and restructure. Some of the other things, if I go back, this is all on the CPQ. But as soon as the deal is closed and a contract is created, you can generate the invoice right here. Nobody have to look at the order form PDF and try to make sure that, okay, the numbers are right or not so that they can generate the invoice. It is the same object which the seller created to close the deal or during the sales cycle. The same data is now going to feed the finance side. So there should be absolutely zero chance for numbers not matching because it is the same quote object. And that's why we don't call it as a quote, we call it as an order. Just the naming change.
Mm-hmm.
You create an order. While it is in the sales cycle, it is a draft. Once it is a close, it's a confirmed order. It will generate an invoice now.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, sometimes this doesn't touch deal desk as much. So
Yeah.
people may not, you're helping a few different people in this process where deal desk might not even have an appreciation for that. But yes, as soon as that deal gets closed, then typically finance has to go in and create the invoicing schedule and make sure it matches everything. It's super manual. There's not a good way to automate like everything that you put in the order form into what the invoicing schedule should look like. So this is a huge connection point where, multiple teams are getting the benefit.
Absolutely. And what we have seen or we are learning more from the market is a lot of account management team where they are responsible for upsell and all, they do want to know that, okay, is customer paying all the invoices or not?
Right.
Because if not, then what is the point of selling more if they are not paying? So having a view of the invoicing and the payment information is very useful for the account management team. One other part of the AI, as we spoke earlier, if I go back to this, the code that I created for the 3 year ramping deal, we do have something called summarize. going back to the approval, let's say this is a multi-year deal with the multiple product, different discounting, all of those different things are involved, and now it goes to the CFO for approval. So for the CFO to know about what is going on this deal so that they can approve or decline or ask more questions, they have to go through this long document or understand all of these. We have an AI powered summarization. So I can go and say, okay, can you generate a short summary of this deal? Very human readable. It can just look at that and say like, hey, this is the TCV, this is the ARR from this date to this date. The discount is 25%. And the more we are doing on the AI, if I know that last 10 order that you got or 10 approval that you got where you approved it because of the 20% discount, it will give you a guidance also that, okay, based on your historical information, you should be approving it.
Right.
The system, the AI should not approve because that will fail your SOX compliance. But it will give you all the metrics. You still have to go and click the button. That, okay, yes, I agree, and then I will close it. This is a short version. Now, if I'm a deal desk person or revenue operation where I do want to hear about everything, okay, what you're doing, what all product and all, there is a long summary also where it is going to tell me about everything, product, ARR, all of these invoicing schedule and all, to say that, okay, do you want to, and you can attach it to the approval workflow, you can attach it to some, maybe even auditor, to read the auditor that, okay, what is going on this deal, and is there any complexity, is there a cancelable clause or renewal uplift, and all of those things, it can flag it.
Yeah, because sometimes these deals can get pretty big, pretty complex. You may have multiple parties involved. There's lots in here. So if you're running this through an approval process to just get some quick insights and know what you should be looking at, it's really helpful.
Some of the other things on the billing, invoicing, or accounting, or even on some of the non-functional side, you mentioned about, we do take care of a lot of different type of user, like a lot of different persona is using Subscribe. And that's why we have roles and all, because deal desk should not be playing around with the AR or the invoicing side.
Mm-hmm.
Same with if I'm a billing clerk, I should not be playing around with the revenue side. I can also just have a read only for your auditor, where they can just come and look at the information and all. So a lot of different persona to make sure that, okay, it is serving all big organization. The Subscribe is built mainly for the complex enterprise business, multi-product business, hyper growing business, where they want to change pricing and packaging every quarter because they are growing. They are still testing the market. They are launching new product, new packaging, new partnership with a different company in the market. All of those things, how to make it easy for the companies to just try it out.
Yeah, and that agility is a massive competitive advantage. And I don't think people realize, oh, if I change the way I'm pricing something in order to open up more market, the amount of operational complexity that typically creates is something where sometimes the cost of it just simply doesn't make sense. So yes, keeping teams agile so that way they can change how they're going to market, it gives them a huge edge on a lot of the people they're competing with.
Absolutely. One other aspect is, again, Subscribe is, as I showed this diagram, we sit between the CRM and the ERP. So we have a very tight integration with the CRM, be it the Salesforce or the HubSpot. Mm-hmm. As soon as a rep creates a quote in Subscribe, at real time, we sync the data into the CRM. And we are putting all the information around what's my entry ARR, what's my exit ARR, what's my TCV, recurring versus non-recurring. If let's say you have a professional service also, which is non-recurring cost, all those numbers, not just these at a high level, we push all the line level details also. And as I said, if you have a 3-year contract with a ramping deal, the core Salesforce opportunity just have one ARR field. But as we saw, there is a first year ARR, there is a renewal ARR, there is an average ARR, and maybe the ARR trend. We have something called ARR trend, which gives you the time scale that, okay, on January 1st, 2025, the ARR is 55,000. On July 1st, it is 65,000. On next February, it is 75,000. So that if you are comping it or you just want to show that the overall life cycle of the customer, you have all the data available in your CRM also to pull wherever you want to take it. Of course, we have a lot of metrics available from our side, but a lot of our customers, they have their own data warehouse. They just want to plug into their CRM. And to support that, we do sync all of these data into the Salesforce also for you to use it if you want that.
That's great. And I think surprisingly, because it's the number one metric most SaaS tech AI companies are being valued and based on is ARR, but it's one of the most difficult things to measure. So having all that data pumped back into Salesforce, back into your CRM, and then be able to throw that into a dashboard that you're using there, or hop into Subscribe and take a look at it. This is something most companies are still managing in a spreadsheet, even though it's the most important metric of the entire business.
Absolutely. Analytics has become one of the probably most lovable after probably the AI is going to take over that. But this because the CFO, the executive, they just love it. Revenue waterfall. You want to see how my each product is doing. There are a ton of metrics. If I go back and show you some of the other report here, it does show me that, okay, how is my ARR doing by each product, by each account? What is my ARR momentum month over month for all these different types? You can slice and dice, and that's where the Looker comes very handy because we bring all the raw data. Maybe you want to slice and dice based on the segment. You are selling a lot to non-profit organization, and you want to see that, okay, how much is going to the non-profit. You maybe as a growing company, your reps are giving a lot of cancelable clause that, okay, you can come out of this, or free trial and all of those things. You can report on that, okay, how many of these contracts have a cancelable, how many of these have a renewal uplift or renewal price lock. So a lot of slicing and dicing of the data, which is available in the CPQ, on the billing and the revenue. And as you mentioned, we being the one system, I have data for everything on the go-to-market. Subscribe has all the data related to the billing, the payment, the delay, and all of those things, as well as the revenue recognition, which is the actual metric that you have to show it to the street. When we combine all of those three, the true 360 view, you can absolutely get it from there.
Prakash, exactly how you put that, being able to own all three of those aspects between the CRM, between the ERP, gives you so much control over the quote to cash process and then so much visibility on the data and the metrics. That's where I think other solutions really struggle to provide the level of functionality and impact that Subscribe has, because they're not owning those aspects of it, which are completely interconnected and interrelated. So I just can't say again how excited we are about Subscribe, about what you all have built, and you've built it from real pain. So when we went through the founder story, like you have felt this being on the other end of it. And then of course the powerhouse team of founders that you put together, really capable of building this right from first principles. And you're taking it to the absolute next level with AI. A Slack to quote capability is completely mind-blowing. I hope that we can get to use that over here at LeanScale so we can get our quotes out the door quicker and easier. And I know our customers are going to love it as well.
Absolutely. The whole view is this is one quote to cash or quote to revenue is a one domain which is critical for every company, but there has not been any disruption in the last probably 15, 20 years. And that is what we are trying to do. And our customers, hyper growing companies making hundreds of millions of dollars, they are just loving it. And we're getting a lot of feedback to the market, as well as I said, our goal is to establish some standardization across the SaaS industry.
Perfect. Well, Prakash, thank you again so much for being here. Excited about what you're building. Can't wait for our customers to see this. Can't wait for our team to see this. And more importantly, can't wait to see what you guys build next.
Thank you very much for having me, Anthony. And as I said, we love your team, love working with you all. And let's see that, okay, we can bring some bigger value to our customers.
Perfect. Can't wait to.